Okay, great. So my chat is broken. Yeah, my chat is broken on YouTube. I had to go into my Streamlabs to actually just get it. Anyways, very late stream again, but this time I do have an excuse. We actually did get a patch very, very late. Like actually, I'm talking not even half an hour ago, well, essentially half an hour ago. We ended up getting some changes. I was doing some quick testing right here, see if the patch note was actually here. And yes, it is here. And there are some changes that I will say are interesting, to say the least. None of them seem to be like particularly insanely bad, but there have been some buffs and there have been some nerfs for sure. Let me first of all make sure that everything is working out just fine. I need to go to the hub first. Let me put this and just make sure that it is patch PTS patch number 2. New. Let me just go over here. Make sure to have game capture and just have Trove. You go. This. This over here. There we go. I don't know what the hell is going on with my chat. At least on the YouTube side of things. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. I think I had to go. I think I cannot watch it on like the studio dashboard. Like the studio dashboard is just broken. It is not working. So I cannot see chat over here. I had to go directly to the actual stream myself. Which I'll just mute myself here. And just get rid of you. And just have chat all the way over here. All right. So that's the only way that I will be able to manage is just seeing chat directly into this, chat. That makes no sense. But hey, I guess I'm here with you guys just watching. Question mark. I don't know. But there have been some changes to some hidden effects. And I will be doing some testing right here in this stream. I would just want to check out some numbers. There aren't very many of them this time around. It's not like they change literally everything. As a lot of them still remain roughly the same. The one that they end up getting changed were the Draco, which from the looks of it, it got a nerf. Why? I don't know. But it got a nerf. The Shadow Hunters, the Boomeranger, Chloro, Dino Tamer, Gunslinger, Knight, and Pirate Captain. Those characters seem to have gotten changes, all of them. Either from hidden effects, or in the case of the Pirate Captain, the first mate, the first turret. Those are all of the changes thus far. So let's go all of them one by one. So, first of all, let me put back into mouse and keyboard. So I can actually just have all of the list right here much easier. So first of all, the Draco. So the hidden effect Draco, you can actually just see it right there. It says once every 10 seconds. So yes, it got a 10-second cooldown. My own personal opinion, this sucks. um, the hidden effect, I will say yes. Being able to spam it and going crazy, I think it could have been a bit much, especially for the application for like stuff like Delve. If you pull in a bunch of enemies and just being able to constantly spam that like consistently, considering that Draco is like pretty good in terms of DPS already, it would essentially just make the Draco a bit too much. I don't think it's a bit too much, honestly speaking. I think it was just completely fine. If I'm being completely honest with you, I think the hidden effect being having essentially no cooldown, it was completely fine. But I guess they thought that it was a bit too much. But I feel the 10 seconds of cooldown is way too much. It's way too much. 10 seconds of cooldown. I think 1 second at most. 1 second of cooldown. That's it. I don't think it needs a 10-second cooldown. Um, for those who don't know what is the split fire, whenever you hit an enemy 5 times instead of the regular 3 times, you are going to get split fire, which allows you to essentially just spawn a bunch of fireball whenever you hit with the Spitfire ability, and just spawning all of those fireballs. Before this patch, it was completely 100% no cooldown. So you can just essentially just keep going like this and just keep spamming the ability if you have multiple enemies. But now for some reason, they decided, you know what, that's a bit too much. Let's just add in a 10-second cooldown. Once again, I feel this is that is a whiff. Um, that to me is a bit of a whiff. I don't approve of this one. I think 1 second of cooldown is enough. 10 seconds is a bit much. I think if I'm being completely honest, I think 10 seconds is a bit much. 1 second of cooldown is completely fine, and I was completely fine with no cooldown. But considering that the application of just being able to spam it was extremely neat, but if they don't want it to have those niche situations like happen all the time, then it would have been nice if it was at least 1 second cooldown, because it would be pretty much just some consistently good burst on Draco, considering that you have to essentially just fill up Spitfire and then just hit it, and then that you get the effect. Like, it's not like it activates when you shoot it randomly. It has to be direct hit so you can actually get the effect. Bit of a whiff in my own personal opinion for that one. So yeah, okay. So the Shadow Hunter got changed completely. It didn't get changed completely. It just got some odd changes. But let me just read out the old hidden effect. Both of them are Dread Arrow. It didn't change that much right there. But what is said right here before, it said Shadow Seeker ability is replaced with the Dread Arrow, applying Shadow Mark, snares, and a damage over time effect on your target. Your Shadow Seekers now fire automatically instead of saving up. So essentially, whenever you hit an enemy, you will get the Shadow Seeker, and it will just essentially just throw one Shadow Seeker immediately. Now it throws 3 of them from the looks of it, and they are way faster. I don't know if they do the exact same damage. Let me just check. Let me just get another extra ring, whatever. Do they do around the same damage as one Shadow Seeker? No, they do less. They do less damage than one Shadow Seeker. But you have 3 of them, and they are really fast now. This essentially just makes the Shadow Hunter having like much more consistent. Jesus Christ, the Shadow Seekers are fast. And look at this. They're pretty fast. But yeah, the change was, instead of just firing one Shadow Seeker, now you fire 3 of them that are really fast. They do slightly less damage than before. but it's three of them, so overall it's going to be doing much more damage. And also the damage over time seems to have increased in damage. How much is it? I believe it's a little bit more than, yeah, the basic attack. It used to be like around 1.5 times damage. Now it seems to be roughly 2.5. If I had to throw an estimate, 2.5 to maybe even, I don't think it's 3 times damage. I think it might be around 2.5 times damage now instead of like 2, like instead of 1.5. It doesn't make the ability really good, but the Shadow Seekers are nice. Being able to throw 3 Shadow Seekers that for some reason they do roughly around the same. I need to double check. Does it have a cooldown? No, I got here. This it's 8.3. 8.3. 7.9. So it's the same as one Shadow Seeker. Yeah, it's the same. It's the exact same damage. So you're essentially throwing three level 1 Shadow Seekers, essentially. So the Shadow Seeker part just got tripled, and the damage over time got increased. That seems to be like the change that we got. So this is good in the sense of like 3 Shadow Seekers is really good for like the Shadow Hunter dealing a lot of damage. But how the Shadow Seeker works, I generally don't like how the Shadow Seeker works in general. Like the fact that they're essentially a physical object that they drop. So especially if you're in elevated spot like over here, where many cases with the Shadow Hunter you will be hitting a whole lot. Shadow Seekers like this are just not going to be able to reach because they're essentially just grounded target. They essentially just work like minions that just detonate out of nowhere. So I don't know if you can consistently just keep having a bunch of Shadow Seekers, or they automatically just detonate. Okay. So yeah, you essentially have to be on around the same level actual as the actual target to actually just get the effect of the Shadow Seeker, or at least be above, which is good in certain aspect because it essentially makes the Shadow Hunter deal much better DPS for people who don't use the Shadow Seekers. And even for those who use the Shadow Seeker, this will allow you to consistently just activate it, considering that this ability is relatively quickly. So not bad. This not bad. Now that I feel now at least it is relatively useful in that sense. Now for the Boomeranger is the other one that got changed. So Boomeranger's Foul Mancy, it used to be like whenever you kill an enemy, there was like around a 20-30% chance, give or take, to spawn a chicken. And the chicken used to deal like half of the damage of the clash. It used to last for like 2 minutes. And you will have up to a maximum of 6 minions, I believe, and they were completely separated from the clash. So you can have the minions from the clash plus those chickens, plus the one from the old. And yeah, that essentially made the Boomeranger deal a punch more damage, which definitely did not need, but hey, it's what it is. What ended up happening is that now it spawns the chickens more often. Now there's higher chances of spawning them, but it now has a cooldown. Don't know how much. It is the cooldown. It doesn't seem to be that much, if I'm being honest. And the timer has been decreased to 12 seconds from 2 minutes. And they seem to spawn relatively consistently. I would assume the cooldown is like roughly 2-3 seconds, maybe. So yeah, overall they're going to be weaker in that sense that you're not going to be running around with 6 minions consistently all the time without having to even use the class on a class that generally didn't even need more DPS. Now it's just a little bit of extra DPS, which is okay. Chloromancer is next up on the list. So the Chloromancer got changed in this ability, I would assume. Yeah, his hidden effect damage has been increased. He still does so little damage. It used to be like 0.25. Like, hold on, didn't like not crit at all? I forgot if I already forgot if that ability did not crit. Like the one from the Chloromancer. I need to let's it. Wallahi. Where the hell is it? I forgot if it didn't crit. I think it did crit, yeah? Because there was a lot of them that did not crit. Okay. Now this one did crit. It was just so low damage. Regardless, it crits now. And the damage is still ass. It used to do like 0.25, like a quarter of your, like not even a quarter of your coefficient. So essentially, you needed 4 of these to essentially do the same damage as one basic. Which, by the way, the basic attack is 1 times damage. And this is the damage. I'm doing 75k, essentially 1 times damage. And I'm doing 30k here, base. So that's less than half. So I would assume this is currently maybe doing 0.33 or even 0.4. That is really, that is awful. Yeah, the damage got increased, but it still is really bad. Still, like, no, still garbage. Still, like, really, really bad. Yeah, I don't like it. Considering it's a channeling ability, it's like you're just channeling for like this. Like at that point, just throw one leafy ledger and it's going to be ditching out consistently like equal or more damage. Or if you're in your ult, yeah. And leafy ledger already was terrible as an ability. Yeah, I feel this one is still a whiff in my personal opinion. The one from the Chloromancer is still really, really bad. Okay, the Dino Tamer. So Dino Tamers now correctly does magic damage. Thank God. And they lowered the damage over time, it seems? Why? Oh my god. Don't want to crash out. I do not want to crash out. Why? This when it did like 2 times damage, it wasn't even that great because it's not instant. It's like a damage over time that applies after a second. I did mention this in like my previous stream. like the damage over time, like if you want an extra damage to be good, it has to apply instantaneously, not apply after a timer. So even if you did have like the 2 times damage, it doesn't apply really well, because if you're doing dungeons and if you want to speed farm consistently, you should be killing enemies within 2 seconds. Like not even 2 seconds, it should take you if you want to properly speed farm. So in many cases, you're going to what, apply 1 damage over time. That's like that's essentially just nothing, especially like even with 2 times damage, that's essentially nothing. Like take for example the Shadow Hunter. The Shadow Hunter explosion from the passive ability has a 1 second cooldown. Like this explosion that you see right there already has a 1 second cooldown and does 1 times damage. Why? And this is not even considered that great of an ability. Why would a single target damage over time that applies after 1 second would be considered overpowered with 2 times damage multiplier? Now it does a tenth of the damage from my basic attack. So in other words, it does a quarter of a coefficient. A quarter of, yeah, of your coefficient. So 0.25. The same damage that Chloromancer used to do with his stupid Vine ability, this ability right here that I just kept saying that the damage was just so pathetic, and still within current damage is still pathetic. Now the Dino Tamer is doing the exact same damage. And it's not like unlike previously where it used to deal physical damage. Now now it properly applies magic damage. So this is the current damage. That is not good. That is really, really bad. This is a really bad ability. Like really, it's like awful. Like just think for a second. What would you pick, that or Rush Escape? Think. Which I needed to just mention that yes, Rush Escape is it might be a bit too overtuned. I like it because I like movement speed, but at the same time it might be a bit too much as well. Anyways, moving on. Gunslinger's hidden effect damage has been increased. Now, does it still apply? Because this was the other one that applied magic, well, physical damage. 42, 108. We go into physical damage. 13, 47 still applies physical damage. Okay, so they still have not changed that. Ay, Dios mío, ¿por qué? It still is applying the physical damage. It's doing a lot of physical damage, mind you. Like, at least good enough. Like 42. Okay, let me get a calculator. How much is it? What is my physical damage? Essentially 12,000. But I'll go directly. 11,981. Divide that by 42, 182. That should be completely backwards, but yeah. Okay. So 42, 182. Divide that by 19. 981 is not 19, is 11. 981. So it's doing 3.5 roughly. 42, 182. Yeah. It's doing roughly 3.5 times damage. But it's doing physical damage instead of magic damage. which is all right. Again, 3.5 times damage on a Sun Snare like well, it is essentially just Shadowhunter Sun Snare. It does the exact same damage. This also does 3.5. It's the exact same ability. The only thing is that Sun Snare has way more range and it has no cooldown. Like you can trigger all the way over here. So it essentially just became Shadowhunter Sun Snare. Does physical damage too. What the hell? Anyways, that is the Gunslinger. I will talk about the Night Hidden effect last because I did test that one out and the increase that it received was quite substantial. Now the Pirate Captain. Pirate Captain, where are you at? There you are, Pirate Captain. So Pirate Captain's turret has been increased in damage output. It's 62 mil. 62, 217, 220. How much damage was I dealing without crits? 9.2. So let me go here. 9280 to 9280. What was it? 9280. What? Come on, do a non-crit. 856. 856. Divide that by my base magic damage, which is 100. That's a lot. 118. 885. That cannot be right. What? That cannot be right. I mean, the damage is... Look at the damage. That's 62 mil. With this stats. Let's see if I can just get level 3. Level 3 is the same. I keep forgetting, but the... Let me do calculation. Let me do... no, this cannot be true. Okay. 118,885. Multiply that by... No. I believe it's 58, but let me just make sure. 570.4, divide that by 100 plus 1. Multiply that by 118,885. 797,005. 762, 217, 220, 220. Divide that by 797,005. You can't be serious. That's the damage output. You cannot be serious that that is the damage multiplication. I am... You know what? I'm just going to show it on screen. I might be doing this incorrectly, but I don't remember that the... Let me just do it backward. I don't think it's... 705. 6. It's just... That is incorrect. I'm just going to be... You know what? I'm not gonna say too much. Okay. Here's the calculator. Already did the damage multiplication, but let me just try that again. So for those who don't know how it works, you just see the damage output that you're dealing. My case is 62 to 17 to 20. 62 to 17 to 20. And then just divide that by your coefficient. In my case, my coefficient is this 2. If you don't know how to do the coefficient calculation, it is just, first of all, to make it a little bit simpler, just take your critical damage, 570.4 in this case, divide that by 100 because you're converting the percentage into a complete number, and then just add 1. That should be your critical damage number. You take this number and then you multiply that by your damage output. In my case, this is the coefficient on this character, which makes sense that damage is so high. And then I will just take the damage that I just saw with the turret, which was 62 to 17 to 20, divide that by the coefficient, which I just checked, 797.005.4. Right. This is damage multiplication on the turret. Let me repeat that. This is the damage multiplication the Pirate Captain turret right now after the buff. This is with all of the changes. I don't know if there's any extra crit damage multiplication or whatever, but a 78 times damage multiplier ability sounds absolutely redonkulous. Considering that, look at my basic attack damage. Fire Captain is doing 2 times damage on basic attack. I'm only doing almost like around 1.6 mil. And my turret is doing 62. My ult is doing 5 mil. The ult is doing 5 mil. First mate is doing 62. What? I swear, sometimes they, I don't know how they managed to do this, but they went from, let's just say, the Chloromancer, which got such a pitiful damage increase, or the Dino Tamer damage over time that literally does 0.25 times damage, all the way to a 78 times damage turret. They must have increased the base damage on the base turret by quite a lot, just to make that, much better. And I'm just waiting to get like a level 1 turret, but it's already going to be like pretty difficult because it takes like forever to get like a level 1 turret. Oh, there you go. There's the level 1 turret. Anyways. Can I get a level 1 turret? Apparently I cannot get a level 1 turret. And I even swapped characters and the buffs remains. So I don't know. Anyways, the last one that got changed was the Knight. Momentum Shift got is passive inactive ability increased by quite a bit. At least I believe the health regen got increased I need to check my notes. Go to my desktop. Miss the ring. Okay, so it got increased by 10%. The base is still the same. It's just the bonus got increased from 15 to 25%. And the health region. That's the only one. But it's the health region. Who cares about health region? The movement speed, on the other hand, is completely different. This one got increased quite significantly, or at least much more than what it used to. Now, previously, it was plus 10 and 10%. Now it's plus 20 and 15%. So, Knight's original movement speed from momentum shift was plus 10 base and then an extra 10%. So plus 10 base, plus 10%. Now it is plus 20. You can see my base, it says 151. So if I remove it, it goes to 131. So that is my base. My base is 131. So that, and then it gets increased by an extra 15%. This obviously makes it the best hidden FF for the Knight. Is it better than Rush Escape? I did some testing a little bit beforehand, and the maximum potential movement speed is still less. Rush Escape still gives more. However, this gives the for an option for the players who don't like using the dodge on the Knight due to the very long animation. Even though it got buffed, the animation is still quite long and can get it can be a little bit tricky to get used to with the extremely long animation. Why am I getting so many likes? What the hell is going on with Trove? So right now we're in this dilemma where if you use the dodge on the Knight, you're going to get more movement speed versus if you are just using momentum shift and just running around normally. This is, what the hell is going on? Why am I lagging so much? Let me get rid of calc. I don't think there's going to be a lot of feedback because we got this very late. Like literally we got this not even an hour, like around an hour ago. At 3 a.m. for me, I just saw out of nowhere, oh, PTS announcement, oh, new update. And just like all of these changes, and I'm not going to just sit down, especially not sit down tomorrow and just start doing this. And definitely not on Friday for sure. Friday will not be doing any video related stuff, at least on this channel, or any Trove related stuff. But so that's why I'm doing this like right now late. And besides, I did the other stream like relatively late anyways. But I'm getting so many likes by like right now. And it seems to be like the game getting some frame skipping like this. Like what the hell is going on? I might have to restart the game. Just do a quick. Let me relog. Let me relog. What the hell is going on with this stupid ass game? I don't know what the hell is even happening. That did not help. Oh, whatever. So where should I even go? Like, I still haven't even fully maxed out my. Well, no, I did max out my C5. I wanted to see if I can just upgrade a little bit on the gems. See if I can just squeeze in some extra damage. See if I can do a little bit more. And I'm using the speed farming equipment at 51k. That is really solid. I might have to just upgrade like this one, for example. Right. I might have to upgrade like some of the gems. Because it's the test server. And the test server... Oh! Didn't realize that they made it so that you can now look like Mystic rings. They did not mention that in the patch notes. You can now look like Mystic ring apparently. What are these rings that I have? Uncanny, Balance. This is the one from Vanguard. Let me... Do I have anything on Vanguard equipped? By any chance? I have Momentum Shield, Red, Arrow, Shadow Hunter. I have Natural Escape, Red Arrow. Let me just put at least those two. Hi, how's it going? Let me just get rid of these two. Put this right here and put Momentum Shift all the way over here. I might do some... I don't know why I just have this ring. Because it doesn't have like any symbol. I just have it right there. Anyways. Yeah, I can just look collect all of them. Finally, you can look collect the Y. Okay? Are we good now? Stupid ass internet. Sorry about that. Let me just get rid of you. Right, my internet just took a massive shite out of nowhere. You can just refresh anyone who cares, whatever, but or just click on the live down there. Anyways, what I was saying is like now you can look collect mystic rings into one regular loop. Need to get rid of you on my vampire and vanquisher on the personal chest because I would like to do some testing later down the line. I don't have a lot of gems. I'll just open up some of those gems real quick. Let me just open up these two. All of you, the two of you. Do you stream on Twitch and do you have drops enabled? I do not. I don't stream on Twitch. At least Trove not anymore, and I don't have Twitch drops. I already requested them like a long time ago. Got ignored. Like, you know what? Screw it. Don't care. I stream here on YouTube. You're hoping that they don't nerf the Vanguard and changes. Same in a way, kinda. Same. Like I think the Vanguard changes are good. I don't think they're overtuned. Like I've heard. I don't think they're overtuned. They are. Vanguard is strong, but it's definitely not overtuned. Not even the slightest. Oh damn. I don't have any mods installed. If I recall correctly, I disabled all of my mods for the test server. Oh yeah, the only exception is the box is open. That's the only mod I believe I have, because I love opening boxes really fast. I don't know why the hell we don't have this on console. Because opening boxes is a pain in the ass. I'm gonna be so real. And I hate the fact that it automatically locks everything. If you over exceed that. I mean, I get it, but I get it that it's not supposed to allow you to open boxes that quickly. Still, kind of annoying to look collect like this, especially on PC. On console is much easier. At least with the controller is much easier. Because all you need to do is just keep pressing D-pad down and keep pressing on X/square. The square on PlayStation, X on Xbox. Just keep going, and it's really fast. What class do I think benefits most from this update? I would say Vanguardian. It's the one that I will say gets the biggest drastic changes. That and Faye, but I think Vanguardian receives like more impactful changes for sure. Knight, I would say, is high up there as well, but I don't think Knight is as impactful as Vanguardian. Vanguardian 1 is absolutely ridiculous. Especially with the buff that the Knight received on Momentum Chip again. Yeah. But with the addition of Rush Escape, there are many classes who are just way better. Like Neon Ninja, Dino Tamer has potential of being like really, really good right now. Especially Dino Tamer has been falling a little bit behind in favor. But now with this, that's going to be like really, really powerful. Definitely Vanguard. Will be another class. Fire Captain with the insane buff that it got today. Holy god, the Fire Captain's turret does so much damage, it's unreal. I can't believe that turret is doing close to 80 times. Like, what the hell? Must have been a little bit of an oversight, but no. Tomb Raider. I can even see Tomb Raider with a Rush Escape and bursting with like multiple minions spawn. Are gonna be like pretty nice. Bard. The Bard is another class that's going to be like really insane because Jubilance on 40% and then Rush Escape 40%. You can have a plus 80% Bard running around going crazy. But yeah, definitely Bard, Neon Ninja, Vanguard, at least those three are going to see some insane drastic changes. And Knight, but I don't think the Knight is necessarily, because here's the thing. The Knight is always been the class that is always been like insanely powerful and insanely underrated by a lot of people. But the problem with the Knight, it was that it was a somewhat slower class in terms of movement speed. That was the Knight. That's what made the Knight interesting. No, not interesting, but at least it made the Knight have its strengths and weaknesses. And I always said, if the Knight gains a strong movement speed buff, the Knight is going to become one of the best classes in the game. I'm telling you, I've been saying this for literal years. I've been saying this since before the Shadowy Spotlight update. Is the Jubilant Song a damage buff? No, the Jubilant Song is the speed buff. The Battle Song is the damage buff, the red one. Jubilant Song is the green song, the one that grants you the 40% movement speed. But being able to stay in stage 2 basic attack is not necessarily difficult. Only problem is that, at least, like, here's the thing: the bard can get pretty high damage. It's just that a lot of people don't know about musical master. Yeah, musical master. It is. A lot of people don't know about musical master bard because it's really that hidden effect is like. If I had to say what is the most underrated hidden effect, I would probably say it's musical master from the bard because it is 35% critical damage increase, and that is 35% multiplicative, so 1.35 times your crit damage. And it is super easy to maintain. It is insanely strong, that hidden effect, but people don't use it. It's understandable because Bard can be quite awkward to use, and if I use a class that feels awkward to maintain buffs when you can just use something like a much easier class that is going to do really well. That is to me like why many players tend to ignore the bard, because it requires quite a bit of managing to properly just use, and that alone can be quite annoying. I don't have a lot of bombs. Need to start increasing at least those cosmic. I want to increase them. I see if I can just get them to 52k maybe. Yeah, maybe even 50. Yeah, maybe even 52, 51 to 52. I don't know. Have to grind in the goddamn test server because because I'm a console pleb. Unfortunately, if I had like my main account right here, which by the way, on my main account, I finally got to mastery 1000, total mastery 1000, because there's a new store pack. This store pack right there got added, and I had the privilege of being a console player, so I had a marketplace. So I ended up buying credit pouches. Ended up costing me like 70 mil, but I ended up just buying it. Um, but I got enough credit to buy the store pack, and finally got to total mastery 1k. Whatever. But either way, yeah. But that's the thing with the bard. A lot of people don't like it because of that reason. Uh, yeah, I don't think I'm just gonna make a flux guide, because especially considering how broken the market is, and like the market is just so busted in general. PlayStation market is completely different from Xbox, which is completely different from Switch. PC doesn't have a market, and I feel like it's too much of a hassle to do a video just talking about stuff like that. Anyways, where was I? Oh yeah, I was gonna level up my cosmic. I want to see, because this is easier to level. I want to see how. Okay, never mind. Just use a 10th life. Use the 10th life. Use 10th life. Give me one more. Use 10th life. And okay, there you go. I can get 6 more right here. Yes. Give me the 6. I do have some leaderboard chests if I can get more. Not. Yeah. Well, yeah, that's just how it happened with dupes. A lot of people ended up just skipping so many. That dupe, but I will just say the dupe will essentially just ruin the whole game. I hate dupes. I really do. I really do hate the dupes. Dupes literally just ruin everything for this godforsaken game. Okay, my controller is not working. Okay. I'm pressing dodge button right now. Like it doesn't want to register sometimes. I hate it. All I need to do is just get some extra gems. At least level up my cosmics. See if I can get the most amount of life possible. I don't like the fact that Knight is doing a lot more knockback. I'm still using the Knight like I normally do with like stuff like overcharge. So I use the instead of using the dodge, I use the Spirit Squire. I'm so used to. Like that is so dialed in my brain. It's not even funny. Going to be a little bit awkward getting used to. Honestly, if I'm feeling lazy, I might even just switch into momentum shift. Because right now, momentum shift is since it got buffed. I don't know. That might be like a pretty good option for people that are not used to using dodge on Knight, which is essentially everyone. Come on, controller, you can do it. You will do it. Look at this knockback. That knockback is absolutely disgusting, and they need to do something about that knockback. They really need to do something. That is absolutely ridiculous. They added that in Tiny Quest, or for some reason, or accidentally added it in Tiny Quest. The Tiny Quest of the Knight is just doing some insane knockback. You mean the Knight knockback? No, the Knight knockback. This is new. I can tell that immediately that that is not normal. Like immediately, I can just tell that that is not normal in the slightest. Especially like you being able to chase enemies down. No, I can easily just go into live server and just showcase how it's supposed to be. But yeah. And to answer the other question, the character that received a change to the dodge was the knight. Yes, it was the knight that where the end lag is not as bad anymore. It's like pretty much in line with every single. Ah, damn the knockback. It's like this is one of the highest stability characters in the game, and the knockback it doesn't seem to be working on this character. Like it's pushing a lot of enemies back, and I'm getting pushed around everywhere, despite being like one of the highest stability characters in the game. And it feels super, super awful. I don't know what the hell is going on. Why did it happen? But yeah, this is definitely doesn't feel good to play. This was added in Tiny Quest in like the previous test server. Like some reason like the knight was just doing insane amount of knockback. Do I even have keys on me? Do I even have any keys? I don't think I have. Look at that, I'm getting sent flying everywhere. I don't know why they go crazy with this knockback in this game. There's a reason why a lot of people hated the boomerang like way back in the day. It was because of that knockback. They're untradeable. They made them untradeable from the club chess and everything on console. Well, I would assume also on PC, but that kind of sucks. It just sucks. What the hell? Like I don't do any trading. Yeah. Oh, and they added the trading post back. Okay. That's just weird. Because I knew that they were untradeable from uh, the market. Like you couldn't post them in market, but in also in general. The keys. Keys. Ah, damn. But yeah, momentum shift for 5 farming might be just better due to the really close spaces over rush escape. Rush escape might be better for like dungeon to dungeon, like doing 1 stars, regular 1 star. Look at that knockback, is insane. I might let me change to momentum shift. Oh god, never mind. I just put it in the personal chest. What am I doing? Because I am chasing a lot of enemies down with this stupid knockback. Might as well just get a base movement speed already by default and just being able to chase much better. Because this knockback is absolutely disgusting. I might change to momentum shift just because of the knockback being so disgusting. I do not know what the hell they were thinking with adding knockback or not doing that changes. Look at that. I'm literally just knocking everything back like really far away. I do not know what the hell they were thinking. Knockback in Trove, it just doesn't work considering the how bad the what is it like? Not the knockback, the lag at the server is like, especially if you get knocked around like everywhere, is just ew, just doesn't feel good. Let me use momentum shift. I will be losing quite a bit of movement speed. I think I lose maximum of like 30 movement speed or so. I guess I will be able to be a little bit more consistent with my movement speed. Wait, why is my power rank higher? What the hell? Did I add in something? Or maybe no, because I wasn't. Was I like very close? Oh, I level up my gems. What the hell am I thinking? Did I have? I'm getting old. I'm forgetting stuff. But yeah, moving from point A to point B in dungeons, I think rush escape is still better versus momentum shift. Momentum shift, I think, is just going to be for like stuff like this, moving into dungeons. Look at this. Look at me doing more 5 farming on the test server than I do on live. I have like 300 sparkling keys that I keep collecting every single day. How do you give them feedback on Discord? There is a feedback tab on Discord, on the official Trove Discord, and that's how you give them feedback. And it was already mentioned that the knight was just producing quite a lot of knockback. This is absolutely ridiculous. But yeah, you need to go into the official Trove Discord server. There is a tab called PTS feedback, and there's also the one that calls PTS feedback with pictures. And yeah, you can pick either or. But be warned, there's going to be quite a bit of people that might just go full kick W, laugh, and take you like not seriously. Let me just put rush escape. I wish overcharge would gain. Imagine if overcharge gained more movement speed than even momentum shift. Holy. I'm asking too much. I need to start thinking like this is the Shadow Hunter. Essentially. Like I got it dialed out in my brain with the Shadow Hunter dodging immediately. Like I do have that dialed down on my Shadow Hunter, but I don't have it dialed down here on the Knight. Like immediately for stuff like Volatile Bounder, I immediately had to do Spirit Square. Obviously, because since I use overcharge on my knight. I am just so used to using Spirit Square immediately after Volatile Bounder, just to proc overcharge. I'm gonna just keep doing regular dungeons. I don't care about doing so much 5-star. It's just so natural for me to just use Spirit Squire. You have no idea. Like, ever since I got Volatile Bounder in when it dropped with Palm Royale Season 3, I've been using it on the night like crazy, and that, you know, it's been essentially 3 years since Palm Royale Season 3, so that's essentially 3 years worth of muscle memory. Yeah, it's going to take me a little bit getting used to. But I will say with Rush Escape, it is pretty insane. Keep in mind that this knight is missing a lot of movement speed buffs. This is not even close to maximum movement speed, like not even close to max. Like my base movement speed is 131. I don't have Vampirian Vanquisher. My Bard subclass is tier 8, not even tier 9. And I am using max C5 gear. No Mystic. And considering that Rush Escape is percentage based, if I had all of those things, my movement speed would be way higher because it would just be a percentage increase for everything. Bard subclass scales on PR, yes. I mean, technically, yes, all subclasses scale off of PR, but some subclasses. So the thing with some subclasses is that it increases the chances of activating. If the subclass says chance of activating, then more than likely is going to, the increase in PR is just going to increase the chances of the ability proccing, not making the ability stronger. Since the Bard subclass is no chances, is a cooldown based subclass with 100% proc chances, then it is better. It's better with higher PR. You get more percentage movement speed with it. So Bard being a percentage movement speed, you're going to get more movement speed the higher PR your Bard is. 40,000 power rank is the maximum of 20% more movement speed, which is insane to think about. Yeah, the Knight is the only one that, at least for the mouth movement speed, is 30. Okay. I believe I am pressing the dodge button game. Damn it, this controller can gonna throw it against the floor. I think the only thing that changed with the Knight subclass is like, what is it? It's like, I think the shield. Yeah, a damage reduction shield for a short time when you go into low health. That's the only thing that gets increased after 30k, which is like so terrible. So yeah, subclasses like Lunar Lancer, Candy Barbarian, those are chances, so they will always give the same amount depending on the power rank, no matter the power rank. But subclasses like Solarian, Bard, which are cooldown based, or rather, instead of cooldown based, it's like no chances, but like it procs off a cooldown, then those get scaled up. Changing the barbarian health region from the ability to damage buff. Yeah, well, at least on Vanilla Swirlwind. Like if you're talking about the health increase that you do get with Vanilla Swirlwind, then yeah. I am pressing the dodge button and it's not registering. God damn, this controller I'm going to throw against the wall. Like Candy Barbarian already has a damage buff on the passive. The passive ability on Candy Barbarian is disgustingly good, but it's kind of awkward to use and it doesn't. Well, I wouldn't say it doesn't proc very often, but it is quite random. And the only way to proc it consistently is with Ult or Sugar Crash. And Sugar Crash already sucks, and Ult is. Well, Ult. This kind of. Yeah, a lot of like health recovery in life steal. Well, not life steal. Well, at least old life steals are just so outdated nowadays, considering that there's just way too many strong things that help out in survivability. So stuff that just increases your health by a certain amount is just not that good at this point of the game. There's so many like easily accessible lifesteal in this game. Plus there's block, the block mechanic. It's just way that it is with life steals and health regions and such. Which is why also health regen the stat is just not that good. Like you're constantly using flash for martial or arcane. If you don't get one shot, then you're going to recover your health immediately the moment that they deal damage because of the lifesteal node that is super easy to get. It's like there's way too many like wrong things with life leash and lifesteal and health recovery. It's like not only the Candy Barbarian, it's like pretty much every class that has that going for. Chloromancer, for example, is a like prime example. They try to make the class into like a quote unquote healer class, but now every single class can get like an insane damage lifesteal, so it doesn't work. I've been using all of my flasks and I use all of my flasks like an idiot. Oh no. Controller is quite awful. I hate it. Because I am pressing the dodge button, but it's not registering. Dude, the rush escape kind of insane. So it's such an insane thing that I will say yes, I think it is a little bit OP. 40% on demand, 40% movement speed buff is quite OP. Or at least it invalidates so many other stuff. Like so many other hidden effects. Giving essentially every character access to Shadowhunter's passive dodge. Kind of insane. They really need to do something with the Shadowhunter, especially with like his own movement speed. Because that is the only movement speed buff that the Shadowhunter has. And character with Rush Escape have Rush Escape plus their own movement speed buff. And yes, I know they have to use a hidden effect for it, but in many cases, a lot of the hidden effects aren't that great to begin with. So I don't know. Either tune down, Jesus, either tune down Rush Escape or increase the movement speed on Shadowhunter's dodge. I think those are one of the two options that they can go for. I'm pretty sure everyone would love the more movement speed on Shadowhunter by default. And leave Rush Escape as is. Because as it stands right now, like, I don't know. Like, don't get me wrong, I really like the movement speed increase, but especially when you take into account like characters like Neon Ninja Bard, or Bard is running 80%, Neon Ninja is running 90%, Vanguard is running 45% plus an extra 40 on top of it, like 40 base plus 45%. I'm always an advocate of movement speed, but something needs to be done at least there. I think most people would either most of the common player would love at least an increased movement speed on the Shadowhunter rather than a decreased movement speed on Rush Escape. But it is definitely a bit, might be a bit much to some people. In my case, I am like indifferent. I'm being honest. I like Rush Escape. Like I get it, like with the Shadowhunters And you can just get it by default. Like you don't have to wait on the all the way until you get Mystic Rings to actually just even get it. Because the way to get at least the hidden effects, you need to hit a prime level on Long Shade. So you need to already be doing Long Shade and getting a prime level over there, and that's how you're going to get a Mystic Loop, which is how you end up getting Rush Escape. So it takes a little bit to actually just even get it, but at the same time, I don't think it's very fair. That's not a word, and that's not even a statement. But I don't think it's fair for players who end up using the Shadow Hunter just to get shafted all the way once they get into Long Shade and getting all of that. Seeing all of those characters, oh yes, now I can run just like you. And then the Shadow Hunter's like, oh, okay. So you can just run just like me, and what the hell do I have? A garbage damage over time? And now you have movement speed on top of more movement speed. It's like, oh, okay. I see how it is. But I'm like, it always just surprises me. I wouldn't say necessarily surprises me, but at the same time, it is kind of crazy. This knight is not necessarily strong, and he is doing Long Shade relatively quickly. Like it's 51k, which is okay. It's not bad per se, especially with the amount of light that this character has, which is like quite a lot, especially for this PR, close to 13k. But still, regardless, it's quite impressive. Considering the maximum right now should be like 59 point 6, I would say, roughly 59 point. I don't know if it gets to 59.7, and don't remember how much is the difference. I think it's literally just around 59.7. I think it's just roughly around there. I need to check what is the max PR on right now. I think the max PR is like 59,171 or 2 or 3. I don't know. It's one of those numbers. But it's like 59.170. And the difference between C4 ring and Mystic is around 500 and it's like a little over 500, but I don't know if it is 520. It gets to like 520. Or maybe it is actually, because it's 2070 and C4 ring is like 1522. So it's like around 550 more PR. So yes, it's 59.7. The hell is the last one? Is crystal. That would be the max PR. I might have to consider just maybe powering up my mystic gear. 'Cause I haven't done any grinding in such a long time. At least mystic gear grinding. Maybe I might consider just doing that. Maybe power up my knight. Maybe potentially just max out. But that's just going to take way too long. Maybe if I want to start just streaming other games in general. Maybe if I want to just start just moving on strictly from Trove and start streaming other games. Maybe combining. Where the hell am I going? Maybe combining a little bit of Mystic grinding, then changing up into another game, and then just changing into Mystic. Maybe that would be a good option. Maybe just playing other types of like MMOs, which I've been playing quite a lot. Like literally just before this, right here, I was playing Maple Story, just doing dailies and the weeklies on one of my mules, and I was going to do the weekly bosses for my main, and then I just saw the patch note. I was like, oh, okay, patch notes. Let me just go here. Here I am. Just not playing the patch, not using momentum shift, because I still believe Rush Escape is going to be better for the knight in general than just Rush Escape. The Rush Escape is going to be better than momentum shift. That's brain fart, brain fart, brain fart. I do have a lot of those. That's why I script my stuff. But some of the characters that I can definitely see just after this update, like a lot of people using it after this update, is I can definitely start seeing quite a bit of knights running around. You know, it's definitely a class that I will definitely start seeing quite a lot. I've already seen knight quite quite a lot lately, especially ever since the introduction of Misty Gem. I've been seeing quite a lot of knight. I know that for a fact. And but classes that I will see is obviously I will more than likely you are going to keep seeing boomerangers everywhere. Because Boomeranger did not get tuned down in the slightest, and the new hidden effect essentially just makes the Boomeranger just better, or just give it another option. The Boomeranger is still going to be used. I wouldn't be surprised if people start experimenting with a Rush Escape Boomeranger, if I'm being honest, because Boomeranger does have a pretty decent dodge. But, but getting rid of Cyclone for that, don't know. But I can definitely see it for people who want to just do regular dungeon grinding, for sure. For regular dungeon grinding, I think Rush Escape is going to be better than Cyclone in general. It's just for 5 farming. I think the vacuum for Cyclone is just way better because of the stupid curse calls. Or at least it's a much more comfy option. But But yeah, most definitely you're going to still see boomerangers, and I don't know. Definitely Knight. Definitely, I can see some people experimenting with Fae, and most definitely Vanguardian. For sure, Vanguardian is going to be a class that a lot of people will end up just using like crazy, or at least it's going to be slow, and then people are going to start using it in due time. And you know when marketplace coming back? No, as far as I see, no. As far as I seen from Discord, no, they haven't mentioned anything related to market. I don't know if it is going to come in with this update. I don't know. We have to wait and see. I'm getting used to just using Dodge appropriately. That knockback is annoying as hell, but well. But I most definitely just miss using. I would love to just use my knight for this. It sucks. The fact that we're on the test server and we cannot do any testing. It's just so sad. That if you wanted to do any testing, you need to grind and get all of this stuff. Because I would love to just have my knight, just exactly my knight right there. Not even fully maxed out, just well, at least mastery wise, yes. But being able to at least run around with maximum star shard, a lot of things, a lot of different things. Being able to run around with this star shard, I can just check the maximum potential. Is the test server for crying out loud? Why is the test server not allowing you to test things? Is in the name of a public test server. Is for testing. Why the hell are we playing essentially Trove with infinite credits and qubits? And half of the store doesn't even work. If the store worked, then that I guess. But the majority of the stuff on the store doesn't even work. Now you cannot even get conversion. You cannot essentially get anything. Why not add like a tab on the store, or like NPC, or an NPC in the hub that has store items like important for progression, like Gearcrafter's Vault for gear, um, Empower Gem boxes, Golden Dragon effigies, or at least a dragon unlocker, so you can unlock your dragons. Empower gems. This the all of the empower gems. 10th life. At, at least they've lately been giving us, you know, on every test server they give us a lot of the item that is for the update. Like in the case of this one, they gave us a lot of EXP coins so we can get the prime loops. But that means nothing if you cannot even properly do the testing. If you are not in long shade, then you cannot even get the mystic loop in the first place. There's no point. You know, there's way too many things that needs to be added. Like I shouldn't be spending a couple of hours just grinding on the test server just so I can get some PR. Test things out. Um, but yeah, a lot of things that are very important with progression. Banners, the allies, um, astral echoes, so you can buy astral echoes. That would be another thing. Astral echoes, gems, regular gems, power gems, the gem rerolls and augmentations, gear crafter's vault, so we can get the gear. Which includes like the items for upgrading the gear. Forge, Forge Fragment, Nitro, Crystalline Cores, Dragon Coins. Or not even Dragon Coins, just allow us to unlock any dragon. Speaking of which, I should let's see if I can just craft any dragon. I don't think I can. I don't think I can. I think I already crafted all of the dragons that I can on this server. And you cannot buy anything. Like before, when they added the NPCs in the hub, that you could easily just buy gold, like rated dragon catches consistently over and over and over again, and that would allow you to just get a bunch of the golden dragon eggs, which I actually ended up getting a lot of the golden dragon eggs. But that was on my test server account before I exported my personal, like my PC account. This was like a couple year and a half ago. Should have saved out a bunch of those golden dragon eggs. Personally, that would have been very helpful. Let me just see my personal chest. What the hell do I even have? I don't know why what I check the personal chest, for being honest. I'll just I need to open out gem boxes, see if I can just start upgrading some gems. Because I still need. Am I even getting? Yeah, I do. I only have 200 boxes. Ew. Ew. This is for. Oh my god, what the hell happened with the FOB 140? Look at my FOB. Yippee, yoo-hoo, yahoo, I don't know. I keep forgetting that PC FOB is just way much more. Like this is like I believe this is like 140 on console. I just put 100. 100 I believe is what I had. Literally just now. Because I play 125 on console, but 125 on console is more like this. This is like the console 125, and the 125 is like the 140 on console. Finally an outpost. God damn. Missed it ring level 2. What the hell? Okay. 200 boxes. I'm not even going to try level them all the way to like 25. That's going to take way too long. I am not about to do all of that. Oh my goodness gracious, again with the 5 gift. Jeez Louise, man, thank you very much. For the 5 gift of membership. Thank you, Caillou. Always greatly appreciated. Oh my god, how many loot collect? The loot collect is yes. That's how much loot collect it is. That's crazy. That's giving me more cheeseburgers. I'm getting a lot of cheeseburgers with the. That is quite insane. Thank you very much. I don't expect any donations nor membership. So all I care for is just sit down and just enjoy my time. All right, dude. Thank you once again for the 5 gifted. Again, because previously you gave 5. That's 10 in total. Good damn. Yeah, dude. Have a good one. Thank you as always. Farewell. I am tired as shite. So I got these gems at level 30. So I can probably be lazy and still need a lot of fire gem swords. Maybe if I am lucky. I'm not lucky. I wanted to be cheeky. Be like, oh yes, I don't have to be. I don't have to use 10th life. Maybe I can just squeeze in without 10th life. I tried doing that, but it did not work. Because the gems are like dog water. Oh yeah, it's technically gem day. I keep forgetting that on Geotop side, the gem day doesn't work for some reason. Ay, ay, ay. Genuinely, I wish I had my account sometimes. I really wanted to test out like how would an in-game class would do. I really wanted to see. Like I could have easily just put it like could easily just squeeze in dungeons like really quickly. Because I'm sacrificing my damage right now, not using soul sub, because I really want to use the bard sub. I'm not gonna lie, that soul sub would have come in handy for the extra damage. And I'm not even using a damage ally either. I'm using a pseudo speed farming build. Not even using a damage ally. I'm literally using Starubel as my ally. So that's what's going on right now. I need to double check now on Discord, see if there's any more discussions or if anyone discovered anything. Yeah, I highly doubt it because the patch now is like so late. It's like very, very, very late. That is what it is. So far, like that update, the patch that we received, relatively interesting. It's just over there now. A lot of people go like, "Oh yes, no, now the momentum shift is too OP." Which, by the way, it is not. Is it the best hidden effect for the night? Yes, but it's not OP in the slightest. Or doesn't make the class broken in the slightest. The damage is still pathetically low, and at least for momentum shift, is like really, really low. It's not even worth going for. The attack speed is really, really low. Knight is just a good class all around. It's just that now it has a movement speed buff by default. It literally had it literally has the only thing that I was literally missing. Literally the only thing that I was missing. And that was the movement speed. Overcharge was good, but it was good because it was an ability that worked really well with the character, not because of the movement speed being really high. That's why Overcharge was like so good on paper. And I think, don't I remember just. I think I did mention this. I need to double check now. I need to go ahead and just go back into one of my videos because I remember specifically saying that overcharge is just really good, like really, really good because of how good the class is. Imagine if the knight had like the Shadow Hunter dodge, it would have been like the best class in the game, or one of the best speed farming class in the game. And look at this, it has the Shadow Hunter dodge. Specifically, I remember saying that, and but I don't remember in what video I said that. Obviously, it had to be one of the night videos, but I don't think it's like the 55k PR night video. I think it might have been like an older one. Now I need to double check that. Very soon I'll check that. That's for sure. Getting a lot of tired now. Should not be doing like a long stream today, honestly. Previously I streamed for like 7 hours and I was the next day I just woke up dead. I knew I was gonna wake up like really tired, and here we have it again. Me being like, pretty much dead. I'm not even going to try to risk it using more Lapis Logbook. Well, maybe just to level up to level 31 now that I think about it, yeah. I think I just want to relax. But I want to double check on that. Maybe just relax a little bit and play. I don't know. I don't want to play Maple Story. I think I want to. Maybe I want to start just playing this guy at 5. I should start playing this guy at 5 soon. Considering that I finished this guy at 4. Mostly, I spent 100 hours on that game. And I got it pretty much towards the end of the game. All I need to do is like 2 DLC stuff. Like the Nether battle. What is the other thing? I forgot Desco show. And Bao. I believe those are the only things that I'm missing in that game. Go there and just finish what I started. But maybe on another time I might do that. I don't have a lot of flask. Speaking of which, let me just check the tiny quest. Hour and 27 with 29.69 is the. I don't think they change anything. Still 44. think that update is that one was a complete whiff. That update really did not. I'm very surprised that they didn't go for it. They decided to push it back. Like I'm really surprised. And just do this one. Just do stuff like this. I don't think they need. Again, they don't need to keep adding in more and more and more into the game. Just focus on rebalancing stuff that we already have in this game, and then just push forward from that. I don't know why they just keep want to keep just adding in more and more into the game. I know they want to sell, they want to make money, but if they want to make money, they need players. And bad updates is not gonna bring players. They're gonna probably have the more than likely, yes. I don't. I mean, considering that they've been pushing somewhat pay to win lately, not really, honestly. It's just Tiny Quest. Tiny Quest, like the only like actually true pay to win update. Do I feel it's going to be extremely grindy? Yes, more than likely it's going to be extremely grindy. Hopefully not, but I do feel that it's going to be very, very grindy. But yeah, Tiny Quest, at least Tiny Quest, I know for a fact that is disgustingly pay to win, and I don't know why that was even allowed in the test server. That update should have been a federal crime. I'm not even kidding. That update was just so disgusting in so many ways. To me, it was like there was no defending that update. Mm-mm. Because it was literally just very forced pay to win. It was um what is it like gotcha game levels of pay to win, not an MMO. It just felt like a mobile gotcha game where if you wanted to progress, you needed to spend a lot of money or wait an insane amount of time that it made no sense. But I don't. I if I'm I want to say that I don't think this update is going to be very pay to win. You know, honestly, I could be wrong, and at this point, nothing surprises me with Trove. But I don't think this update is going to be that pay to win. It's going to be grindy, yes. Pay to win, unless they just make. It's just the more I think about it, it's like how can they make it pay to win? Maybe sell the some box that allows you to get the mystic loop. But at that point, you would just do that just for like one box, for like one ring. because the hidden effect lasts for more than 2 weeks. Not more than 2 weeks, at least 10 days to 2 weeks, depending if you have Patreon or not. And then the other thing is the crafting of the rings. We still don't know the crafting recipe, so I don't know. I think this update, rather than just being this update, felt more like a backup to Tiny Quest. That's what it feels like. Oh shoot, no one likes the Tiny Quest update. Big surprise on that one. What can we do so that the players are going to be somewhat happy? Oh yes, let's just drop the Mystic Rings. Maybe they have planned for Mystic Rings for later, and they got pushed forward so they can work on the Tiny Quest. That to me like is what it feels like. It feels like they are only just doing this because the backlash that Tiny Quest received. They are literally just doing this because of the backlash. And they're just trying to do damage control by giving us an update that players are going to be like, maybe this is not too bad. Maybe I'll just stick around. And then they just drop a Tiny Quest, which is extremely awful. And voila, we're back with the continuous Trove loop. And that Tiny Quest would be the pay to win update. Because to me, I'm just gonna be 100% transparent and real with this. Tiny Quest was such a monumental failure that it was going to start making people quit the game. Even more so, like rapidly. Because if no one has played the Tiny Quest update, it's a joke. It is a complete joke. The time requirement is literal months and months to even years to do anything related to the Tiny Quest, and the rewards were so astronomically pathetic. And the excuse of like, oh no, the stats are just placeholder was just BS, because if the stats were completely placeholder, um, they would have already changed it in the test server. And the only thing that they changed on the Tiny Quest was when you get the stats. Because you used to get the stats every 10 level, and now you get the stat, or rather, I don't know if it is every 10 level or whatever. But now you get the stats faster. I think you get the stats now every 5 levels, versus before you used to get the stats every 10 levels. But the stats remain exactly the same, so I'm pretty sure those were the actual stats and not a placeholder like they mentioned. But since everyone was saying like, oh yeah, great, I'm spending months of my life for 30 light and 4% bonus percentage physical damage. Okay. For one ally, and I needed like what? If I wanted multiple allies, I wanted like 4 allies. I needed to do that with 4 different allies, and so you had to wait many months just for to have a couple of allies. level 30, like, and you needed at least 4 allies at level 30 to even start getting the Gilded Rana for like the mastery items. So you needed to spend months and months of waiting just to even get to where the Gilded Ranas are starting, like where you start getting like the materials for the mastery item, and then you had to wait even a couple of months to even start getting all of the items, all of the mastery items. So essentially, you had to wait like half a year for the most part just to even start getting the mastery items, or like get all of the mastery items, or more than half a year. That's just being generous. That's not taking into account the 5,000 quests and the many other things that you needed to do. It was essentially like, how much did you get? Like 70? Wasn't it 75? No, it wasn't even 75. I don't even remember because they increased it like the last time. It was, I believe it was like 70 Gilded Runner, 60 Gilded Runner, just, and then you had to wait essentially a week just to get those, and that wasn't enough for like an ally or like some of the allies. I think I did mention this on my, where is it? There's my Discord. Yeah, it was 70, but yeah, it cost us 5,000 of the instant unlock tokens, which 5,000 tokens, it was extremely expensive. Only one change, only one feedback being seen. Right by the triple turret. No, the thing is, it's like Fire Captain is doing more like insane damage right now. I need to check on like a maxed out Fire Captain or something. Like I need to double check on everything. Maybe just reset my target dummies, see the damage, because that damage did not seem right. Damage did not seem right. It was way too strong. I mean, it's single target. Targets are random, but holy mamma mia, that damage is. Literally, the turret is just you. Literally can just throw down the turret, and the turret will one shot bosses. That's how much damage it does. Like, I'm not even joking. Like, it's going to just literally just sit down, throw a turret. The turret will just shoot one dead. If the damage is like what I saw. Ay, ay, ay. Hmm. That got me way too curious. Like but I don't have a magic damage set of gems. That's just. Wish I had a magic damage set of gems. You know, would be nice. But unfortunately, it's the test server, and test server you cannot do testing. Instead, you have to do this that I'm doing, grinding stupid gems because your gems are not maxed out. Grinding more on the test server that I do on my main account, where I still need my mystic gear maxed out. Maybe get a cornerstone. See where I'm at. See if I can just squeeze in a little bit more PR. Look, collecting sucks so much on this. Okay. Okay. Let's see. I might have gone a little bit overboard. Please. Okay. Thank you. No. A lot of my gems are just essentially level 30. Oh, god damn. I've already done so many of these. Grinded 35 hours before on my main account, just getting with Patreon, just getting my main account essentially maxed out. I was hoping to get a little bit more, but nah, dude. Not going to be out here just grinding for 10 hours just to max out my test server account. I will say though, I should be able to get another level. That's what I was able to get. Went 250. I'm almost at 13k. Light. How about the upgrade gear? Because I remember I forgot that I lost essentially all of my Mystic stuff because all of my Mystic stuff was on the test server account. That test server account had at least a maxed out Mystic. But I needed to do changes. Anyways, let's see. Okay, lusty boxes. I can get some augmentations. I think all of my cosmic are max. Yeah. Damage on this one is max. This is 2-1, 2-1. At least damage here is max. Crit damage is not max here. I think that was the last one that I was increasing. I mean, technically I can get these. I don't have a lot of flux. I forgot that I used so much on the tiny quest. That was just brutal. That tiny quest was just brutal on the flux. You cannot make flux here because test server. And test server, well, yeah. No way to even get flux. That's just so unfortunate. Useful. Just open all of these, why not? And you can easily just get so many chaos chests and whatever. Here's a C2 box. What the hell? Yeah. That's enough EXP to take a Trovian from 1 to 25. Ooh la la. How much EXP is that? Like, that's 4.5 mil EXP. And for 29 to 30 is like this same amount, close to 3 mil. First 25 level is so easy, but then it's like, oh nah. Okay. Guess I did what I needed to do. I will showcase. No, I will not showcase. I will not. I don't think. What time is it? 6:20. It's almost even recent. This 6:20 in the morning. I am tired. No streams for around 2 hours, maybe a little bit more than 2 hours, 2.5 hours. I think it's good. I think it's a good place to end it. I don't have a lot of things to say. The patch note was really small. I don't need to just keep grinding for hours and hours on end. I'm too tired to even just continue to grind. So, yeah, that's going to be it for me. Thank you everyone for dropping by. As always, the patch knows some very questionable decisions. That's all I have to say. The Draco having 10 seconds of cooldown. Again, let me just do a quick recap. The characters that did get changed were the Draco, which the hidden effect now is a 10-second cooldown. Don't know why it did not have a cooldown. 1 second cooldown would be more than enough. I don't know why it's 10 seconds. The Shadow Hunter. That's the Shadow Hunter. Shadow Hunter. Now the damage over time got increased. And now you spawn 3 Seekers instead of 1. The Seekers will do exactly the same damage as before. So not the exact same damage. Each Seeker will do the exact same damage as before. So essentially triple the damage from that. And a stronger damage over time from the Dread Arrow. The Boomeranger hidden effect. Now the minions spawn more frequently. And he seems to have like a cooldown. I believe it, like the cooldown is like 2 seconds or 3 seconds. It's like very, very short cooldown. But each of the chicken, instead of lasting 2 minutes, now it lasts for 12 seconds. The Chloromancer, the hidden effect got the damage increase. It went from awful to bad. Because it still does like barely any damage. And apparently the movement speed reduction that you do get when you activate it is less, but you still feel slow as hell doing it. The Dino Tamer now correctly applies magic damage, but instead they decided to put the damage down so bad that it's a joke. It used to do like 2 times damage, physical damage, but now it does like 0.25 times damage magic. That is a quarter of your coefficient on a damage over time that it procs every second. You need 4 seconds to do your coefficient in terms of damage. That is just disgusting. Or you needed to the damage over time to proc 10 times just to get the damage equivalent of 1 non-ultimate ability basic attack from the Dino Tamer. It is so unbelievably awful. So you essentially needed to wait 10 seconds to get an extra basic attack worth of damage. Woohoo. The Gunslinger hidden effect damage got increased, but it still incorrectly does physical damage instead of magic damage. The Knight's hidden effect the momentum shift got the movement speed and health regeneration increase. And the movement speed, from what I've noticed, is instead of plus 10 movement speed and 10%, it is now plus 20 movement speed and 15%, which is much stronger, is quite a bit better. It's still less powerful than Rush Escape in terms of movement speed in total, but it is a stronger movement speed and now way better than Overcharge in terms of raw movement speed, which just makes no sense. Overcharge, the only thing that Overcharge does, it gives you movement speed when you activate an ability. Now you have something that gives you more movement speed passively. What's the point in Overcharge right now? And lastly is the Pirate Captain. Without the hidden effect, the Pirate Captain turret does like insane amounts of damage right now. I just saw it and it was like 78 times damage, but it could be like miscalculation. But I was doing 62 million damage with a 800,000 coefficient character. Yeah, look at this. I'm doing 1.5 mil damage. The base turret is doing two, close to 2.4, but if I level that up to even level 2, it goes to like 62.2 mil. It's a huge jump. Like literally, what you will be doing with Pirate Captain is go into a dungeon, activate Arcane, and then just throw one dead. Look at that. 155 mil damage with a 700 coefficient. Well, 800,000 coefficient. Pretty disgustingly high damage. Wish I could just test it out, but I don't have a magic damage set of gems, so GG's on that. But I can literally just. Look at that damage. It's 155 million damage. And my arcane basic attack is 4 mil. That is absolutely redonkulous. That is actually insane. But yeah, that's the change that the Pirate received. Outside of that, none of the other characters receive any changes. So the bar hidden effect still sucks ass. I don't know why it has a cooldown. I don't even know why this is even here. If I'm being honest. One melody every 5 seconds. It would be nice if it had no cooldown. Because dodge already has a cooldown. Why would you want a cooldown to dodge plus a cooldown here? And it would also be nice if it refresh the timer of your ult. You know, at least for people who want to just run around here stage 3 basic all the time and want to play like a more comfy play. I think it would be better if it was like that. Instead of a 5 second cooldown, it gave you the full timer of your ult every single time that you essentially gave you the effect of the epic riff, of the purple song. Every single time that you did a dodge. And that, and plus the The crit hit, I don't know, like that still doesn't do any crit. The AoE, don't know why that didn't get any change. Why am I playing the damage over time? Do I have a dot? Dealing damage applies. Oh, his thinking curse. I was about to say. But yeah. You know, did I just randomly happen to kill an enemy or something? I don't know why the hell I just got 400 EXP. But yeah, the AoE in itself is just super lackluster. It doesn't do a lot of damage. It would have been nice if it procs on the enemy that got hit with the crit, and it would have, instead of like a 3-second cooldown, 1-second cooldown. And maybe, and obviously do crits. I don't know why the hell it doesn't do any crits. It makes no sense. The Candy Barbarian one, to me, is just It's already very clunky to use because you need to use Sugar Crash and then just use Vanilla Whirlwind, two ability that cost quite a lot of energy to activate. All of that for 3 times damage. And honestly, skipping the step of the Sugar Crash would be good. Maybe just activate it only Vanilla Whirlwind, or maybe just activate it on Sugar Crash. I don't know, but the 2-step ability just for one effect. Maybe this into like maybe just skip one of the 2-step. I don't think this is a good one. This is definitely a bit of a whiff, especially since there's Spin to Win and Rush Escape on the mix. The one from Tomb Raider, for example, like for some reason Banshee's Boon does less damage than regular basic. That needs to be tuned up. Still, we need a better visual indication because having a laser like this shooting forward and still hitting enemies all the way over here, it makes absolutely no sense. We need better visual indication. But outside of that, I think this is a pretty decent hidden effect parcel. The Revenant, as far as I know, this one is like the explosion damage is too small. Well, rather it's too low damage. So And then on a 3-second cooldown, when you kill an enemy, it resets the cooldown of Bulwark Bash, which sucks because the class gen already with the class gen, the Revenant already has a 1-second cooldown on Bulwark Bash. So it makes absolutely no sense to actually just have that. So this one is just, oh god, oh lord. Let me just go back to the hub. Gotta get my ass deleted here if I just keep doing this. But yeah, the one from the Revenant is... It feels a little bit lackluster. Still, damage is too low. And yeah, it would be better if it did more damage. And the cooldown reduction just, I don't know, that to me is just pretty bad. To me, it would be better if it gave cooldown reduction to all of your ability, including your ult, so you can just activate this, get cooldown reduction on your ult, and get an extra explosion on Bulwark Bash. That to me, that would be like a better solution and do more damage because one, like what is it, like 1 times damage, 1.1 is like really ass. The one from Dino Tamer is a joke. That damage over time no, way too low of a damage. Essentially, just having to wait 10 seconds to do the equivalent of this one, literally one is like you need to wait 10 seconds to do the equivalent of one of these. It's not good. Needs to be an increased damage. And it would be also really nice if it applied the damage over time immediately rather than just having to wait a second for it to proc. That to me is not good. The Neon Ninja is also a joke. Why the hell do we need another ability that increases energy consumption? Not energy consumption, energy regen. We already have recharge, which recharge already sucks, and Telos Emblem exists in this game. I don't know why we have another one that, you know, increases how our health or energy regen. Like this one, they're getting that effect just to increase our energy regen when you activate your ult, no less, by the way, which this one needs to go. The Luna Lancer having a 30-second cooldown, also awful, considering that Lunar Leap already has a cooldown and Lunar Slam also has a cooldown. Why do we have a 30-second cooldown on just a pretty mediocre pull on a pretty lengthy cooldown ability? So it's like, would you prefer to get 85% movement speed increase with Need for Speed, or getting a terrible pull using the exact same ability with a 30-second cooldown? That one, that one's just not good. Means to me it should be like something completely different. Maybe get the Lunar Infused Grapple, or well, the Infused Grapple effect on both grapples, like regular and the, like, you know, Lunar Infused into regular grapple, something like that. I don't know, but something better than this. This one just is absolutely terrible. And also get the effect on the ultimate ability, this attack. Like every grapple getting the effect, so you can get more damage out of everything. Maybe that would be just better than what we have right now. The Ice Age one is also pretty bad because, first of all, it doesn't crit. Secondly, it's like the damage is so pathetic. And third, the amount of energy that it costs is way too much. Maybe an increase, maybe a decrease in energy. Obviously, make it do crits. And I don't know, more damage. Because right now it does less than 1 times damage. Like really, really bad. The Pirate Captain, the changes right now, still I'm very surprised that the Pirate Captain damage is just so ridiculous. I still can't believe that that I'm doing this amount of damage with this stats that I have. It feels like almost a type of like damage output. It legitimately feels like it is a typo or something. It's kind of ridiculous. Like right now, Paracata is literally going to a dungeon, throw this, dead. That's the boss. GG. But outside of that, like, what is it? Like the Pirate Captain dummy diffuses. I forgot that this even exists. This is like one of the biggest facepalm out there. Oh yes, the Pretend Pirate. This ability that is already pretty bad. What should we give the pirate captain? Oh yes, let us remove the explosion. The only thing that the ability did somewhat well, but make it cost less energy. Instead of 62, 64, it's now 45. Thumbs up. Like, if they want to do something with pretend pirate, I don't know. They've been doing a lot of vacuum. Why not have a goddamn vacuum with pretend pirate or something? Jeez. Make it like take no damage so that all of the enemies target it. So you can just essentially use it as aggro and it will stay there for maybe what is it like 10 seconds or something like that. It lasts 10 seconds and it will just stay there for 10 seconds, taking no damage, take aggro. And when it explodes, it slows enemies down. Or when it explodes, it does a damage over time or something different that it's just not this. And also the doubloon consumption. I know the pirate captain was like the main reason why dupes were even a thing. But holy Jesus, look at how terrible it is to regenerate energy now. Like you gain like 10 energy per cast. Good thing is like you only use the energy for pretend pirates. But I mean you also use the energy to level up your turrets as well. Or like the doubloons. I don't know, like I don't know what the hell they were thinking with this one. Why do people always just sit down and just start spamming EXP tokens like it is going to give them so much? Don't do that. Don't be dumb. Don't use your coins for no reason. You're not getting any mystic loot by doing that. Yeah, well, whatever, who cares? The Shadowhunter one, now it got a buff, but I would love a change to Shadow Seekers in general. Instead of just going into the ground, it would have been better if it was like in the air, like actual projectile that would just move directly into an enemy. I've always liked that idea of just having like a lot of arrows just going into an enemy because this is like Seekers like right now. Like if you're in like a lower area, they essentially function like minions. And considering the Trove has a lot of verticality, it's kinda rough in that aspect. This is the same problem with regular Seekers, by the way. So I think that is something that would be better if it gets just fundamentally changed altogether. It becomes more like a projectile rather than just being like a minion type ability. I don't know. I cannot say too much about the Boomeranger because Boomeranger always gets the good things. Always get good things. So I'm not gonna say too much about that. The Vanguard incident effect completely. This one is so bad. Is honestly funny. Just rush escape your way to victory because look at this. Fired up and Force Flash now has a 5. It gives you what, a 5-second of increased stability and health regeneration, and it's not even that much, by the way. Like, wouldn't it be nice if you activate like it was when you activated the ability, you get the benefit from both modes, Force Splash and Fired Up. I think that would be just a pretty simple change over this that what we have. Because Fired Up gives you attack speed, gives you movement speed, and an increased jump. Now, Force Flash gives you the vacuum and it gives you the movement speed increase and the damage reduction. Even though damage reduction kind of sucks, but it gives you all of those stats that are really good with one another. It would have been really nice to have both of them. Just activate a Force Flash and you get the attack speed, movement, the attack speed, the movement speed, the damage, all of those. That would be good, but no, instead we get stability and health regen. I don't know why the hell that's even a thing. The one for Chloromancer, even post buff, this one sucks. Complete ass. Damage is way, way too low. The one from Draco having a damage, the ability was pretty cool, but now with the 10-second cooldown, it's just not that good. Would have been nice if it kept at least a 1-second cooldown, but 10 seconds is just a bit too much. The Gunslinger essentially just having Sun Snare is cool on concept, but it still does physical damage. And you can easily just run out of stacks like really quickly. And also, it doesn't fit the Gunslinger whatsoever. To me, Gunslinger is like activating your class gem ult and going crazy. Would have been this would have been nice or a good opportunity to give this, and for every enemy that you hit, it will reduce the cooldown of your ult. Instead of just being a damage ability, it would be more of a utility ability so you can use your ult more often. So you don't have to rely 100% on Chronomatic. That would be really good, but no, instead we get a physical damage ability on a magic damage class. Okay. Faye, I don't like the slow fall, even though yes, the slow fall you can cancel out with a dodge, just like Gunslingers. But slow fall would have been better if it was elsewhere. Because especially in this game you're jumping a whole lot. So if you do a dodge and then you jump again, you know, it can be quite annoying. And the slow fall procs not on jumps, is on falling, on descending. So if you're falling from a place rather than just jumping from a place, it will suck. So it can be just quite annoying. It would be nice if you can just cancel out with either blink or a dodge, or just have it on the hidden effect, the slow fall. Something. But I don't like the slow fall. And the Solarian hidden effect is another. Why? Oh yes, I am getting Divine Radiance. This right here. On enemy kill. Maldito sea. Why didn't this character get a damage over time on basic attack? Why did the Dino Tamer get the damage over time on basic attack and not the character that everything is a damage over time? The character where everything is literally a damage over time doesn't have a damage over time on the basic attack. Like, it makes absolutely no sense that the Dino Tamer is the one that actually got it, but not this character. Like, literally everything. This, you know, Solar Flare, Guiding Light, Prismatic Blast, your ally, everything is a damage over time. Everything. But not the basic. And the Dino Tamer now has a damage over time on the basic. This one is like should have been better if it was that. Like it would fit with the Solarian. You know, the class is a damage over time based character. Why not give it a damage over time on your basic attack? Not only will it fit, it will just work perfectly with the character. With what the character's goal. The character's goal is just applying as many damage over time as possible. Why not have it on the? Why not have it on the basic attack? Beats the hell out of me. But no, instead the Shadow Hunter and Dino Tamer get a damage over time. Yep. That's just that's me being a nitpicky. Let's just say that if you want to call it like that. That's just me being nitpicky on everything. But again, this has potential of being a pretty good update. Again, class updates are always a good update because it fundamentally changes the game in general. But that's not the only thing that I would say that this update needs changes. First of all, the fact that you still get two hidden effects that spawn randomly on your ring. Now with five, technically five potential hidden effects that can spawn on your ring. Well, from what I've noticed, it's like the new ones always spawn together. So if you get something like momentum shield, you're always going to get rush escape. So you're not going to get, for example, overcharge and rush escape or overcharge momentum shift. No, it's like the new one's always going to appear together, and if it's not, then you're going to get nothing but the old ones, which is kind of annoying, especially if you're looking for something like one particular ability. You have to wait specifically for the other new one to actually just get it in the first place. I think we need to get to a point where the players should be allowed to select whichever ability that they want. And the other thing is like rebalancing some of the old ones, some old hidden effects. Also, just would be nice to get some love as well. Mhm. Just reading right now on the server. Sorry, on test server, dude. It's 7 a.m. My brain is fried. That's all I had to say. Jesus Christ, man. On the test server feedback. There isn't very many things. Oh, dude, I am so tired right now. What the hell? What the hell? And so I'm like, I'm literally just like dead right now. Huh, okay, I think I'm gonna end it here. Yeah, I'm too tired. Anyways, I'm not gonna get too nitpicky on anything or just talk about anything in general. I think I might just also put this. Uh, whatever. I was gonna put this stream on listed, but at the same time, I was like, I did what I needed to do. I grinded a little bit, played for a little bit, stream for 3 hours. I think it's just more than enough. I think I'm good. I think I'm out of here. And my mouse is inverted again. So, anyways, thank you everyone for dropping by as always. Again, I might make a video just talking about this whole update. Maybe in the weekend. Definitely on the weekend when we more than likely are not going to end up getting any updates. I will just talk about at least including all of the changes and explaining at least all of the hidden effects because I know for a fact that no one is going to sit down here and stick around for like 3 hours just watching a video. At least maybe like a 10 minute video just talking about or explaining all of the abilities is going to be a good thing, or much better all of the changes. 10-15 minute long video is going to be good enough. But outside of that, I think that covers everything. Thank you everyone once again, and I hope to see you next time. Take care, keep on hunting. I'm tired as hell. It's 7 a.m. I need to go to bed. Anyway, thank you Des for the late ass update. My god.